Today on the dish, Chicago's Lula Cafe, helmed by chef Jason Hammel. A James Beard Award for hospitality and a Michelin bib gourmand, recognition of Lula Cafe's consistency in quality and care over the last 25 plus years. Hammel turning what was once a daring venture into the inspiration for many in the food scene, featuring locally sourced foods and a focus on community long before both became industry standards.
A neighborhood staple in Northwest Chicago's Logan Square, Lula Cafe has become a favorite for both casual diners and foodies by embracing comfort and creativity in its menu. The intention set by owner Jason Hammel, who shared some of his favorites and his story of opening back in 1999 without the usual culinary aspirations.
My wife and I were not chefs. We kind of accidentally came into this business because we wanted to create a space for the artists and the friends that we had.
A place like Hammel had found when the then 20-something aspiring writer first moved to Chicago.
I stumbled on this cafe. Everybody's smoking, drinking espresso, the music's loud. It became super important to me and like my community. And the cafe closed. And Leah and I were able to take it over and start our own thing in the same space. And then we had to learn how to cook.
Creating the space itself, the easier task. Hammel's wife, Amalia, or Leah, an artist, curating works of art that from the beginning have earned praise in their own right.
Ordering 2 vegetarian tasting.
To create the menu, they started with what they knew, the foods of their families.
The first time we opened, it was a real mix of my wife's Greek heritage and I'm from an Italian family on the East Coast. We just sort of threw things together and they ended up sticking to the menu for now almost 26 years.
Dishes like their spaghetti with pancetta and a sweet and spicy salsa rosa.
It has like this kind of Roman vibe, and then the sauce is made both with dried and sweet chilies. It has this aromatic Italy, Mexico mashup. To me, that kind of cooking is it's kind of 90s.
It's got a nice little kick too, which I love, those chilies.
A pasta yaya with feta, garlic, brown butter, and cinnamon.
It smells so good. You need smell-o-vision, I always say,
Yeah,
to do this. The moment it was brought out, just smells so good.
And I always say that this dish, the cinnamon, is surprising, and I always want people to be a little bit surprised by it.
Also contributing to Lula Cafe's early gastronomic footprint, time Hammel spent living abroad.
And so I actually lived in Italy for a while before I moved here. And I got this apartment, sight unseen, right outside of a market where I'd go and I'd see the vendors bringing stuff in early in the morning, and you could shop for fish and meats and the most amazing vegetables you've ever seen. And I was writing. I wasn't thinking about the food then, but it tapped into something about seasonal cooking, about knowing the history and the stories behind where your food comes from.
Yeah.
That and ended up informing my life as a chef completely.
As for learning the mechanics in the kitchen,
well, if it was now, it'd be easy because there's the internet. But in 1999, there were books, and I'm a writer and a reader, so I really studied the books of Alice Waters. Richard Olney has a beautiful book. Elizabeth David was a writer that I loved. So I read all those and dived in, real deep. I mean, there's so many great examples of books that were really designed to teach, and I owe all my technical knowledge to reading in those years.
But the key to success has been going beyond the technical, dotting the menu with simple but sublime offerings highlighting seasonal fare, like asparagus with wild onion sous vide and Stilton blue cheese. Rushing Waters trout from Wisconsin, its sauce made of fava beans and trout roe. And a dish of grilled lion's mane mushrooms mixed with spring vegetables and crispy lentils.
Lion's mane mushrooms are these giant, puffball-looking things that when you cook them, turn really meaty and rich.
This mushroom is insane.
They are insane.
It's not a mushroom.
Yeah, it's like a piece of meat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That lion's mane, grown less than 4 miles from Lula Cafe at 4-Star Mushrooms.
It is very science fiction-y.
Showcasing Hammel's commitment to locally sourced foods.
It looks like either dough
or a Shar-Pei puppy. I don't know which.
They're grown with a lot of care, intention around like humidity and temperature, of course. Sustainability is at the core of what they do, but they're just like perfect specimens.
Still, it's not just the mushrooms which enrich the dish.
We took our whole team there. The best part is you get to meet the people behind it. And then when they're on the line, cooking the mushroom, glazing it, and like putting the lacquer on it, like they have a different response to it.
From the ingredients, to the kitchen, to the table.
Chef 2 frites all day. I'm looking for course 2.
Jason Hammel has led with intention every step of the way. The result? A butterfly effect for everyone who walks through the Lula Cafe doors.
And the hardest part of leadership in a kitchen is not the cooking at all. It's about creating the cultures in your workspace that support people, that provide people with growth, that really engage and educate your team. Like we're sharing a meal right now. This is a hospitality business, and hospitality is about extending kindness and care to others.
We're celebrating 25 years. We started in 1999. And I have to say thank you to everyone who's worked with us now and in the past.
You guys won a James
We
Beard
did.
Award
We did
for
last year for
hospitality.
hospitality.
What did that mean to you?
I mean, it was a highlight of my life because like that's a team award. Like hospitality, it's not like about what happens at the table necessarily. Hospitality is also what happens between cooks and dishwashers, between servers and bartenders, and then that kind of energy, it comes out in the space.
And it does there. Cheers. This was our drink that I didn't get to mention. Mixed Messages. It's a lovely bourbon cocktail, so thank you for that.
I love that.
And I brought you some of the lion's mane, which that's raw. I had it grilled. I'm telling you, it tasted like a piece of meat.
Can I? Yeah,
You
I
can
can
taste
see
it.
that. No, thank you.
If you would like to.
You know, it looks like a tribble from Star Trek.
That's what I said. I told you
It
it's in
just
there. It was
looks
like
like a little
or a
furry
Shar-Pei
friend.
puppy. Either way. Yeah, but it's a beautiful spot there at Lula Cafe, and they even have a space next door. They started it because they wanted to maintain this space for their artist friends and cultures. They have a space next door that they can use for events like that too. So they've always maintained that ethos.
I love everything about it.
Me too.
Must go.